Hello, hey YouTubers, it is Joe here. Need a little break due to the actions of some who don't like what I have to say because it goes against what they think. We were suffering some technical difficulties. First, let me say I'm doing this presentation live right now, but if you happen to watch this after I'm done doing it right now, that's okay because the content is all going to be right here on YouTube. Nobody's going to be able to take it. It's not going to disappear. It's going to be the same content a year from now or 5 years from now. It is going to be exactly the same as what you see right now. So that said, wanted to go over the Crowley DNA evidence results as provided by the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension Crime Lab, which falls under the Department of Public Safety of the state of Minnesota. Want to clear up some misconceptions, innuendo, and even rumors, starting from people who think they know better than the crime lab. As everybody knows, recently there was a video presentation prior to this on my YouTube channel. That presentation was by not one but 3 DNA experts. And I'm not talking made up experts, I'm talking people who do this every day. I'm talking people who are nationally and internationally known for their involvement in several high-profile cases. I guess that angered some because there were real experts in that video and they were unable to get real experts, so they made some up. Or, who knows, they came out of a Cracker Jack box. Whatever. So let's get on with the DNA evidence we have here and what was found by BCA. If you review the slides as they're going across the screen, you'll be able to follow. And then I have a little interesting twist to put in here. Item number 1A-3, which is actually item 1A, David Crowley Springfield .40 caliber pistol. On the pistol, there was a mixture of 2 or more individuals. The major DNA profile matched David Timothy Crowley, which it should, it was his gun. The major profile did not match his wife Comel or his daughter Rania. So people would want you to believe that since there were 2 DNA profiles on the gun, that there must have been some sinister second party involved. Well, I may not be an expert, but I can sure read. If you notice highlighted, you will see Rania Crowley cannot be excluded from being a possible contributor. That means that there may have been DNA evidence from Rania on the gun, but there just wasn't enough to call her a major contributor. It further goes to say that Comel, David's wife, is totally excluded from being a contributor to the mixture of DNA that was found. Item 1B-1 was the magazine from the .40 caliber pistol that also had a mixture of 2 or more individuals' DNA. Major DNA profile matches David Timothy Crowley. Major profile, and you gotta really pay attention because there's major profiles and there's minor profiles and then there's profiles that don't have anything to do with anything. So major male DNA profile matches David Timothy Crowley. The major profile does not match Kamel or Rania. Major profile would not be expected to occur more than once among unrelated individuals in the world population. Now you will see another line that states Kamel and Rania cannot be excluded from being possible contributors to the mixture, which means they could have been possible contributors. There just was not enough of their DNA to make it a major profile. Next item is item 8-1, which is a knife. There is a mixture of 2 or more individuals, David Timothy Crowley, Kamel Crowley, and Rania Crowley cannot be excluded from being contributors to the mixture. So this says 2 or more individuals, and they're saying that all 3 of them could have been contributors. Now, before I go further, I just want to point out, when we did the interview with the experts, we were told that they cannot say or use the wording that this is the DNA of this person. They have to say it matches this person or it doesn't match this person. Now, as you heard, the earlier system would link 13 markers. The current system that's utilized these days actually links 23. Item 11 and 44-1, which is blood from the living room wall and also a bullet from the living room. Single source DNA profile is indicated that it is a female and it matches Kamel. Now it's single source, which means one person, and it matches Kamel. But it goes further on to say that it does not match David or Rania. It further goes to show that it is Kamel by saying it would not be expected to occur more than once among unrelated individuals in the world population. Next we have items number 14, 23, 27, 42-1, and 43-1. These are swabs from the bloody footprint near the island counter, blood from the laptop, blood from a hallway wall, another bullet from the living room, and another bullet from the living room. DNA profile indicates that it is a female. The match is to Kamel Crowley. It does not match David Crowley or Rania Crowley. Due to insufficient genetic information, there is no statement on minor types. Now, does that mean the reason it does not say single source is because it's not single source? What this means is that there may have been other DNA on these items. However, there was not enough to make a match on even a minor type. The expert told us that the current testing requires a total of at least 500 picograms of sample. It can be less, but it can also be a mixture of a whole bunch totaling 500. At that point you'll get a major, which is the one that has the most, and then the minor, or you can even have 2 majors. Next is item number 35. This is blood from a cell phone that was located on the island counter. This item had the mixture of 2 or more individuals. Kamel and Rania cannot be excluded from being possible contributors. David, on the other hand, was excluded from being a contributor. Now, we need to notice that this says a mixture of 2 or more individuals. There's at least 2. They're not saying in here that there's definitely more than 2. They're saying it's a possibility. Okay. In addition to that, it does not mean that they were handling the phone. It does not mean they were bleeding on the phone. It simply means that their DNA was found on the phone. Next, we have item number 38. These are the push keys from the gun safe that was found in the bedroom. The push keys had a mixture of 2 or more individuals. So they're saying 2, they're saying maybe more, but at least 2. Major DNA profile is indicated as a female and it matches Kamel. The major profile does not match David Timothy Crowley or Rania Crowley. But while others are hyping on that and saying it's somebody else's sinister DNA, if people would read further, David Timothy Crowley and Rania Crowley cannot be excluded from being possible contributors to the mixture. So in one section it says the major profile does not match David or Rania, but it does not say there could not be a minor profile mixed into this DNA. Next, we have the notepad, which states a mixture of 2 or more individuals. Major DNA profile is indicated as a female and it matches Kamel Crowley. Major profile does not match David or Rania. It also says that David and Rania are excluded from being contributors to the mixture. Now, in this case, we have to look at something. The notepad had blood on it as well as other DNA from God knows who. I'm including 2 photos in this presentation. That these photos, you're going to see a red circle. If you look at the red circle, maybe somebody didn't see this, maybe somebody saw this and just overlooked it, or maybe to make it something sinister, they just did not tell you. So I am going to. If you look at the mirror in the bedroom that is located by the dresser, you are going to see a male technician or detective or whoever. That male does not have any protective garments on. We know that the Crowley residence was a busy scene with police officers, detectives, BCA personnel, medical examiner personnel, and God knows who else. On top of that, we also know that at least until October, the Crowley residence had numerous visitors. These visitors were friends. These visitors were people who were helping David make YouTube updates as to the movie, family, you name it. The DNA expert was asked specifically if there was a lot of activity in the home, was it possible for someone's DNA to be there from before? The answer was yes. In addition to that, the photos show not only a male who was not wearing protective gear and had their right arm fully exposed. We're talking skin, we're talking hair, we're talking you name it, it was there. When you move about, you shed DNA. You shed thousands and thousands of epithelial cells a day. So could it be some sinister donor? Maybe. However, the more likely source of this other DNA is contamination. In addition to the male, you are going to also see a female technician or detective or whatever taking photographs. You will notice that she has a regular jacket on. On top of having the jacket on, her hair is uncovered, her face isn't covered, her hands, one hand we can see a glove, we don't know if there's a glove on the other hand, but the fact of the matter is, even if you're placing gloves on, you still shed DNA. So that's not one case, but two cases of both male and female unrelated DNA that could have been introduced into the scene. We also know that the police officers were in and out of the home. We also know that the MEs were in and out of the home. Now, while they may have had gloves on, they may have not had total protective garments on. You also have officers that were going in and out of their vehicles. Those vehicles are going to have DNA from not just the officers, but whoever else is in there. Police officers are not always assigned the same vehicle day after day after day. They also arrest suspects, and those suspects' DNA can also be in the vehicle. So I propose that while yes, it may be some sinister other entity, most likely it is contamination, and it happens quite often. You guys heard the expert outright say that they have had to call detectives in that have handled 2 or 3 different cases where they get DNA and then they wind up having the detective come in. They ask the detective to give a sample, and lo and behold, it's the detective's DNA. So that covers the notepad, and also realize, like I said, not only was the DNA on there in the form of regular DNA, but it could also have been from DNA that was shed, or DNA from people visiting. Okay, we're going to move on to item number 45-1, which was a bullet that was found in the basement wall. No DNA profile was obtained. What does that mean? It means there was no DNA, whether it be from somebody getting hit with a bullet or the bullet being loaded into a gun and fired. What some individuals do not realize is that when a weapon is fired, not just a .40 caliber Springfield 188 grain shell, okay, I believe these were Defender PDX 1s if I remember correctly, but they were definitely .40 caliber 188 grain. When a bullet is fired from any type of a weapon, that bullet travels at 2,500 feet per second. In addition to traveling that fast, it also obtains temperatures of 100 to 300 degrees Celsius, which is a maximum temperature of just under 500 degrees. I mean, just under 600 degrees actually. About 527, 572, somewhere around there. Fact of the matter is, they get pretty hot. They damage DNA, or if they make contact with something, they can actually take the DNA right off the bullet. Next item, 53-1, is another bullet. Mixture of 2 or more individuals for DNA. Major DNA profile indicated as female, matching Rania Crowley. Major profile does not match David or Comel. David and Comel are excluded from being contributors. Again, please refer to the fact that we do not know who handled what evidence. We don't know if when this bullet was wherever it was found exactly that one of these technicians who was not wearing protected garments could have shed their DNA. We also know that the BCA lab did not test anyone outside of those involved. And by involved, I mean the family. Item 57-1. This is the bullet that is in question. It may be the bullet, it may not be. There is no proof either way. All we know is that we have a male DNA profile. That profile matches David. It does not match Comel. It does not match Rania. Due to insufficient genetic information, there's no statement on minor types. So, this bullet definitely had David's DNA on it. Whether this is the shot that was fired from David killing himself or not, that is unknown. There is not one of us making this presentation, there is not one of us listening to this presentation that was in the home when the incident occurred. Therefore, none of us, no matter who it is, can say for sure that this is or is not the bullet that killed David. Last thing I want to bring to your attention, you're going to find a diagram with locations that BCA made up. It shows the exact location of the pistol, the cartridges, pages from the Quran, the knife, blood stains, apparent blood stains, bullet fragments, pen, the notepad in the little office room, the bullet that was in the attic, or the ceiling leading into the attic. It's also going to show the positions of where Comel, Rania, and David lay. In closing, the information contained in this video presentation has been obtained from the official reports that were released from the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension and the Apple Valley Police Department. Anyone that says this is not the truth and that the report is a lie is more than welcome to present valid, documented evidence to the contrary. Anything else less than something documented or less than somebody being there when the incident occurred doesn't hold any weight. It's as simple as that. If none of us were there to see what occurred, the evidence at hand is what will show you what happened or what didn't happen. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. And I already know this is going to rub some people the wrong way, but you know what? I really don't care. Fact of the matter is, there's an old saying that the truth shall set you free. there's also another saying that if it's not on paper, it never happened. And anyone who's involved in any facet of public safety, whether that be a police officer, a fire, a paramedic, or an EMT, would know if it's not on paper, it never happened. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.